What's up, Hexicans? How's it going? How's everybody doing today? Today we have a special guest, Hex Orca. He's coming in just a couple minutes, but
I'm excited
we're just waiting for him. How has your week been, Mr. Explosive Artist?
It's been good. It's been productive. You know what I mean? I feel like,
Yeah.
there's times where I'm not happy with looking at certain stats. So I just try to detach and
Yeah.
try to be productive because I'm, you know, yeah. I think in general
that's
that's the cure.
That's what
That's the
you've
cure
taught
for
me.
everything.
You've been able to just shut it off, not look at it anymore, and I wish that I had that tenacity.
Yeah.
To just say I'm not looking at it. I mean, I have tabs that are open right now, and I even told myself, don't look at
you're
it.
like,
I just closed them, but they'll be open by the end of the stream.
I know. I think it's a sign that, you and I both don't think it's going to be here forever. And you and I are both very confident that, you know what I mean? When we do launch out of this, it's going to be pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
And
it's just a slingshot getting pulled backwards is what
it's a
we kind of
slingshot. And you and I, out of all the scenarios we run through, when we're just trying to strategize and stuff like that and try to look at possibilities, at the end of the day, it's really just a matter of time before it's kind of,
I mean, there's a lot of not even fun. I mean, there's a lot of people on Twitter that are like big name guys that are like attacking Hex, which is crazy that they all kind of did it all in the same like 2 or 3 day time period. It's kind of like they saw the wounded animal and they're now attacking it, and so I think it's quite hilarious. But
it's kind of their chance to probably get back on some of the jabs that have been thrown. But at the same time,
true,
and you're the same way. You appreciate a well thought out argument for whatever case you tend to agree with. If it's a logical, reasonable, but a lot of these people just seem like their feelings are hurt and they're like,
I think we got another Peter McCormick tweet. I think we got another Peter McCormick tweet. Yeah. So
dude, I don't
we
get
know
it.
names.
I would never show my face again if I were him.
Right. Yeah, he's kind of cringe. And there's other people I know. BitBoy said something. I don't know if he was being funny or something. Somebody said that it was actually not, because I'm blocked from BitBoy because I told him I was going to overtake him. He's like, what he said?
Overtake him? What do you mean?
He said like, what is your goal for 2022? And I said to make you obsolete. And I got more freaking likes on my tweet than he did, and so he automatically blocked me. And I was just like,
into it. He
should
have appreciated it.
I know.
He's like, hey, we can sell some pay-per-views here,
right?
With this back and forth.
But the price, it's down, guys. It's down 7.2 cents, I believe, right now. I don't have I just closed out of it just because I can't look at it anymore. It is very sad to see. But on the RSI, this is good. On the RSI, it is one of the lowest that it's been, points that it's been ever. So not the lowest, but it is one of the lowest that it's ever been. Which is a good sign that we're oversold right now. So there's a good chance that we could get at least a pull, some buying back. I saw today that somebody, I woke up this morning, I was telling him, Explosive, that I woke up this morning and my Hex Whalebot Twitter notified me that 7 million, I think 5.4 million Hex and then 2.5 million Hex was bought. And so I was like, yes, looking at, because I never look at the price. I try to give it an hour before I look at the price, and looked at the price, and I was like, it's lower than it was when I went to sleep. What the heck? It's just, people are just selling, man. People are just selling. They're scared, and this is always what they tell you. This is, I've heard a lot of people on Twitter and stuff say this is the bear market's where the millionaires are born and are made and stuff like that. It's like, it is true. Like, if you want to make money, you got to buy things that are, scary to buy. Like we weren't buying Hex when it was like, oh boy, we know that this is for sure going to 10 cents or 7 cents in 2 years or
we didn't know
56
anybody
cents.
that had cashed out anything.
Yeah,
nothing.
Nothing. Like sales were there, but nobody was cashing out to be in profit. People were like selling out because they were like scared of the whole everybody was flooding. This is nothing new. And I think that's why you see, people, especially OGs, kind of being okay with it. Here's the man himself. What's up, Orca?
What's up?
What's up, man? How's it going?
I was jogging across campus to come up to the library so that I would actually have, and then they gave me the room with like the worst internet. So if I go missing, you know who to blame.
Yeah. We'll put you on a milk carton. Dude, how are you wearing a beanie? It's like 95 degrees. Right
no
now.
way, dude. It's like 45 degrees out today. We had like hot. Yeah, dude. We had like hot weather for the last couple of weeks, and then I don't know, the last 3 days we have a cold front that's really wicked.
Crazy.
Yeah, it snowed where I was at a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
like 6 or 7 inches.
Oh, for real? You must be pretty high up north then, or?
Kind of like Colorado.
Okay. Oh yeah,
like
my parents are. Yeah, my parents just went up to Colorado Springs.
Nice.
And then because they were like fleeing some of the snow that I guess was rolling through.
Yeah.
But man, they're doing like RV living right now, so they're going all over the place and finally getting to see the country and stuff like that.
Nice.
The 3 beer to tears.
Beer to tards, maybe.
This is the first time we've gotten to speak, Orca. It's good.
Hell yeah, man.
And talking and
yeah, I'm a fan for sure, man.
Yeah, it's
Thanks,
crazy.
y'all. Dude, this is my favorite. Like I watch all of Hexo stuff and Explosive Artists. I love when you're on the show because you guys have like perfect chemistry. But dude, during these bear markets, this is what we need. The energy that I get from a Hexo stream, it just gives me superpowers, dude.
Exactly. Yeah.
How's the diamond encrusted stroller that you bought with all of these hex
my god!
Putting on our head?
That's legit. We could probably all get on top of that side.
My wife the other day, it was in the back of her car, or no, it was in the garage, and she already had one in her car, and she was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna take this other one," and I was like, "No, you're taking the damn stroller that you bought."
Dude,
it's
I did not just get berated online for freaking 2 weeks because you wanted to take the other stroller. I was like, that thing goes outside right now and gets in the
go to the grocery store, take the stroller.
You start putting groceries on that thing, but it is pretty legit. But it's like, I don't see the purpose of it. However much
it's like a 2-foot lifted Suburban of strollers. You know what I mean?
It's a boat.
Right, yeah.
Man.
It is, dude. It's like an extended version.
Well, you got what now? You got 2 kids?
2 kids, yeah. Hopefully 3. I want to get 3, but not anytime soon. Yeah. If I have anything to say about it tonight, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. One of these days, maybe.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So two kids right now. I definitely want more, but so I guess since it was the first time we've met, what's your Hex story? How'd you get
my
into
origin
Hex?
story? Yeah,
your origins. Yeah, the origins.
My origin story. So I was lucky. So I was like a Bitcoin maxi only just a couple of years ago. The worst kinds of people. But I actually found Richard probably 5 years ago. It was one of the times I was on YouTube and I was actually trying to find Bitcoin info, and he was talking about what hard forks are. And I thought that I was like pretty hip and like knew what the hell is going on in the world. And then I realized like, oh, blockchain's way more complex to me. Like I'm not a developer or like a computer science guy. So he really educated me on some of at the time he wasn't really framing them as like problems with Bitcoin, but there was definitely like, here's some things that we should probably consider that would make it like a better option. And so back in the day, I'd never used the subscribe button. Now I try to like subscribe to everybody, put the notifications on and stuff. But I got really lucky because he kept popping up in my algorithm, and I would not like watch every video, but every now and then I'd see like Bitcoin in the title or just see like the familiar face that he has for his thumbnail.
Right.
And I was lucky because that led me to, like his fluid dynamic token thing, which thank God that never happened. And then, and then Bitcoin Hex. And so like, I was in for the free shit. Like I didn't really care about any of the long-term value to it. So I did free claim with my Bitcoin, dude, but I'm one of the dumbest people alive because I didn't know that I could self-refer. So in like the adoption, yeah, dude. So like through the AA and even just like in the Bitcoin free claim, I didn't go in any of the groups. Like I like to just kind of stick to my own thing. And some of it was arrogance. Like I thought I was just like really good at, I had done well investing my own money in like legacy markets. So I'd never really gave a shit about hearing other people's opinions until I realized how much I don't know. And it was like, okay, I need to network better. I'm really bad at this. So I actually staked longer than the minimum with my Bitcoin. So I loved the free money. The 10% I got, I just held it because it wasn't like significant. I was just whatever. But that was a really dope play. Like,
so you were a free claim kind of guy. That's not what onboarded you, huh?
Yeah, it was. I was actually one of the few people that was in Bitcoin early, but I actually like held custody of my coins. So when Richard was pushing the idea that like free claiming was an opportunity to get people off the exchanges, that's when I was like, okay, this dude is clearly trying to help people in crypto with this play. Like, obviously he's done the self-help thing for years, but when I realized like a scammer wouldn't advise you to do something really brilliant, like minimize your exposure to counterparty risk. And so that's when I really perked up, and he became like probably one of my first 5 people that I've ever done like the notifications for, where I was like, okay, I'm going to pretty much watch everything now. So yeah, that's kind of how I got in. And then I've been dollar cost averaging ever since. I love Hex way more now than I did when I free claimed it. So it's been a really fun
when
experience.
Did you like start? Cause I mean, you're not, cause you've been in since day one then, well, or whenever, but when did you start like actually being a Hexican, you were like, this is
right, dude.
This is
yeah.
the thing.
So kind of similar to my Bitcoin story. I don't know if you know, but like I was in Bitcoin really early, and then I went to college, and my Bitcoin was on my hard drive back at my parents' house, and I never visited them. I was like several states away. So I basically staked my Bitcoin for like 4 years. And with Hex, I pretty much didn't look at it for the first couple of months, which in hindsight, like I could have gotten some really awesome early day prices, but you win some, you lose some. And I really got like sick of the people that I would talk to in Bitcoin were pushing things that are not crypto. And I like to think of myself as like the cypherpunk ethos. Like I really like DeFi and stuff. And these people were straight up telling me to use layer 2 options and stuff. And I was like, dude, this isn't crypto anymore. And like all of the Bitcoins on exchanges, and I'm seeing like JP Morgan Chase talk about Bitcoin. And I just started to get so frustrated with it. And then when Richard really nailed home, like it's just Bitcoin with a proof of work change, I would say that to Bitcoiners and they would just refuse to give it any credence. And that's when I was like, okay, F you guys. Like I'm going to just go, I'm going to troll you to death with this now because it's working. So yeah.
That's cool. That's good. We got Alan Fizz and Meh. I took a page from Orca's playbook. Took a lot of Hexskins Hex from their hands. You never know who is watching. Could be a whale or plankton watch streams. Could be a whale or plankton watch streams. Ha ha ha. Yeah, dude. Thanks for the $10. Yeah, I mean, you don't know who's gonna come and taking their Hex from them once they sell, right? Is that what you guys?
Oh no, my mic's behind a China firewall. Oh no. I don't invest in like any of the streaming stuff. I got to get on your guys' level. Maybe if I take off the hat, then I won't have like the. I don't know.
Dude, that's hilarious.
I don't have the breadcrumb mics, man. I just got these little AirPods, and I thought I was like moving up in the world.
Allowed.
I was like, oh, I'll just go. These are $200 whatever earbuds, and then it's like coming through a tin can. So shout out to Steve Jobs.
Wow, those library people didn't do you any favors. It sounds like.
Yeah, no,
it sounds good. It sounds good on my end.
At 1.9 cents, so I haven't. I'm guessing you meant 19 cents. So I haven't been through all the dips. Is the anger with each other always this bad during dips? Yeah, man. I mean.
Well, now there's more people in it, so it seems you know what I mean. The numbers are
for sure.
The first dip that we had, the 85% dip, we had one guy that was like fudding it, and then everybody and then we had the big, YouTubers kind of hating on it, like Elio trades, and so like we, and plus at first, man, we didn't know, like I was afraid that the SEC was going to show up at my house, like knocking on my door, like, "Hey, bro, what's going on here? We're going to have to take you in." Like I didn't realize. Yeah. And I had the cops because I used to live a biker gang. Most people, and the cops showed up at my house because they were doing something. But I look out the peephole of my door, and there's the cops, and I was like, this is it. I'm over. Open the door with my hands behind my back. I come freely.
Maybe I should turn on my camera.
Yeah. He's got crumbs on his shirt.
But and then I talked to Richard about it. He's like, dude, the SEC is a civil entity. They're not going, that's not what they do. Because I was like telling him, I was all afraid and stuff. He's like, dude, that's not how the SEC works. Right. I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. He's like, they can refer to the DOJ, but first you're gonna have to get the SEC. And he's like, do not even worry about what's happening. This is completely fine. And I was like, okay, and because we had such fun. Like there was people adding me but to the SEC on Twitter, like at the SEC.
I do that sometimes, dude. That's me. I'm the guy that's like at Janet yelling, like, have you seen this crypto project?
Yeah. Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, dude, they're on, this is like my first year on Twitter, and so I'm just like, oh geez, they're gonna know all about what all my doings here. Like I'm gonna put it. And so I was very afraid, but
yeah, dude. Bitcoin dudes like don't realize how easy we had it, because like I didn't experience any fun in the early days of Bitcoin because the only people talking about it were nerds that like no one wanted to talk to. So like anybody that would bash Bitcoin, it was just like, whatever, bro, you just don't get it. And then now they're like the most toxic community because they just want it so badly to be like the reserve currency of the world, but with no useful features or anything. What?
Well, that's the thing. It's like Hexplosive Artist has not used Bitcoin yet, and I'm like, dude, you are so like you were like if I had to do a Bitcoin transaction a couple of months ago, and it was like, oh, here we go, and then you send it, and then you're like, okay, how long is this one gonna take? And an hour later, you're like, oh, phew, it got there, instead of that 14 or minute that it might take on Ethereum where you send a big transaction, you've got to wait for the Bitcoin transaction to go through. And you're just like, did it actually go? Is it and they're like Block Explorer is not anything like Etherscan where it's like decent, where you can watch it and it's like, oh, this one's going to be in 45 seconds.
Right.
Like
you're just like, hey, maybe my money's gone forever.
Yeah, you don't know where it's at. You're just like, dude, this is freaking crazy. Georgia Carrera, thank you for the $99.99. Thank you so much for that.
Georgia's awesome. She's always coming to spaces and she was chatting.
But
yeah, dude, like with Bitcoin, it's always, I have like snapshots of like texting threads with my buddies that literally are like, we don't ever talk except for like, did it get there yet? And it's just like, because we're waiting, and it's like, hey, did you pay me yet?
Can I get that? It's like, no, it's there. Like I've sent it. It's just, I can't remember.
You had to sit me down and literally just show me, like, he had to like, it was like an indoctrination. He sat me down at his little command center and he's like, now look at this guy. This guy's like their star spokesman, and then he just pulls out the videos that just say nonsense or they're getting annihilated by Richard.
Oh yeah, and Peter McCormick. And
so I was just dude. He had to show me so I could really appreciate what I was getting into. I think because I skipped all the scams. Luckily, you know what I mean.
Dude, that's why
he went straight to Hex, and it's like, dude, you don't know how lucky you are.
Wow,
you are lucky, bro.
I bought some shit coins, bro. I bought some.
Yeah, me too. I've been in the.
I've gone shopping. Yeah,
RG3, he's in the chat. He took me down the freaking. He took me down the Smatic, like doing Smatic in the back alleys. Oh snap!
Yes.
He made me freaking bridge it over there, and he was like, oh yeah, you can farm on this thing. It's like
you're all passed out in your bathroom.
Yeah.
On Matic, overall to your house.
With a hose.
Get in, boys, we're going farming. Dude, that's why like with Eric's last, debate or whatever, I guess we'll call it a debate. I get frustrated because it's like the space is so new and like there's so many scams out there that when someone like him who knows better and like he's a closet Hexakin, closet Pulsikin, like it sucks because there's so many people that are out here trying to find like the actual truth and like good advice, and he's playing the villain or whatever, and then there's gonna be a pretty large slice of folks who really fall for it and like they don't learn the right things that they need to learn. And I just think the space is too like fragile and new still for us to be doing that. So like I get disappointed with that.
Yeah, I mean, we're all on the same team, even with the Bitcoin guys. You know, like
100%.
we're all on the same team, and unless you're really into like Terra, like if somebody like nobody knew it was gonna like do that, so it's like nobody like I feel like unless you're promoting a legit scam, then you should be called out. Like most of these guys are trying to do good. Even the Terra guys were like they were trying to do good. Their thing,
dude, it was crazy. Like in the Twitter spaces, so like hexagons are. I would say for like the average investor, like hexagons are pretty smart. And then I would go into Luna spaces, and honestly, if you like closed your eyes and just replaced the word Luna with hex, they sounded just like us, like all of the right values. They were really trying for like DeFi but unfortunately they just didn't have enough understanding of the technical side of what was really going on. So it was like, it was really brutal because that sounded like a community that would have been just like ours that can really help spread the good word of crypto. And then they get, absolutely rugged. And it's like, damn, dude, that's a lot of good intentioned people that got screwed over.
Yeah. And I mean, it sucks. And plus the guys like some of these influencers that are like, hey, I'm still buying at 10 cents or $10 or whatever it was. It's like, dude.
Hey, Janet Yellen, do you see this tweet? Like,
like those are the guys that should be getting the SEC on them, not freaking little Hexo. Not little Hexo who's just like, hey, I've got like $500 in this thing. Yeah, little tiny hands and shit.
I'm an arm.
Oh, Dominic, thank you for the $50. Those beards look like max stake. Like Orcus is at least a 5,555.
Yes, I can't wait.
I was like, I can't wait to tell him how nice his beard is.
Are you doing?
Everybody says that, I'm sure.
I'm waiting for mainnet, dude.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And
I was doing it, and I told my wife just to trim it up. She was like, "Oh," I was like, "Can you just please trim it up?" And she's just like, "Sure." And then she's like, "Man, I see a bunch of it fall off." I was like, "That's not a trim."
Yeah, even today, I was like,
"You're like, I just broke a promise. I just broke a promise.
Yeah, this is a promise now.
You can't break my promises."
So if anybody wants to hate on me, talk to the wife. You could add her on Twitter. Just be like, "What happened to Hexo's beard?" It's all over.
Dude, it's the worst. Like when I go to sleep, right? It gets like pushed in. I'll wake up and I'll have like one flat side of my face and then like one poofy afro side of my face. I look so ridiculous. I didn't even think about it the other day, and I like ran up to the gas station and I was like. When I got in my car and I saw my face, I was like, "What have I done?" So bad,
dude. You look like the guy off of Sonic. It's great. The egg.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
It's great. It's great, bro.
Dude, I got murdered with those memes. They were so good.
It was
crushed me, dude. It was awesome.
Perfect.
So what you go to college right now? You said you're in college?
Yeah, I'm wrapping. I have one semester left on my MBA, and I'm actually doing a master's thesis that's related to crypto. And I'm
sweet.
Soft showing hex and pulse chain in the thesis.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for sure, dude. So like we had bigger aspirations, but there were some regulatory issues. I actually have like relationships with the people who have the relationships with the institutions that manage the endowment here. So we were going to run like a simulation about putting an allocation of that into crypto, because some of the schools out west are starting to put crypto in their endowment funds, like the UCLAs of the world. And I'm a little further east than that, and we're kind of like country bumpkin vibes still. So they're very conservative with their investments, but they were open to the idea. And we got tons and tons of like really smart people in the room, and we were going to go with it. But for whatever reason, I guess the institutions that are doing these things, at the end of the day, they can't really expose themselves to crypto yet, at least these specific ones. So it fell through. And now I'm just doing a thesis about like the role of money in society and how crypto can alleviate, the things that we hate, like the middleman issues, the double spend issues and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I think after this, I'm probably going to go for a PhD and try to like meld finance and stuff with crypto so that I can start publishing works on that, because I feel like academia is not pumping out any, we need, as dumb as it is, like we need some school level publications to justify like the movement of this industry. So I'm just trying to help push that.
Yeah, good for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Good.
That'd be cool. Dr. Orca.
That's a good way to do it. Dr. Orca.
Dr. Orca.
Orca. That's great. That's great. So what's your, so we you know, everybody wants to hear what's your predictions. What's the thumbnail is what's up with the Hex Chart? Or wait, what's the deal
man.
with the Hex Chart?
I didn't know
Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with the Hex Chart?
You guys ever seen a chart go down really bad? It's yeah, dude, I didn't know you were buying 2 strollers. That was my problem. I did the TA and I adjusted for 1 stroller. And I was like, oh, you went for 2? I didn't know you got the insurance stroller.
No, the one I had some shitty strollers before. That was so not really that bad. They're actually really nice. That's why I was like $1,200. What do you need a freaking $1,200 stroller for? And so Amazon sent us. We bought like a $200 stroller way back in the day. That's an average stroller.
Sure.
And we bought one. They sent us one. And it was taking weeks, and we ended up saying, okay, it's not here. Where is it? And they just said, oh, we'll send you another one. So we got one. So wait for this. We got one, and then the other one comes in. So we have 3 strollers.
See, you heard it here. I got them.
You're stepping around.
I get him to the garage.
Yeah, in the garage.
This dude is upside down on his stroller investments hard, bro. He is down bad right now.
You could like load lumber on the fancy one.
It's true. That's why I'm like, what do we need another freaking stroller for? Oh, but this one's got cup holders. I was like, dude, this one has cup holders.
Spinning rims. Like.
Yeah, spinning rims. Yeah. It's got speakers in the back so the baby like moves while you
bumping into the stroller. Yeah, and you know how it is.
Like, subs on it.
There's a bunch of like incentives to sell down right now. And dude, like the macroeconomic environment, it totally justifies people moving to cash. So like go look at any market right now. Hex isn't exclusively seeing it, but Hex is a risk on asset, right? Like we're a ERC 20 in a world where layer ones are probably like the blue chip of crypto, whatever that means. But like we're doing fine, man. Sub penny launch price, massive dip below that, and we're still way up from there. So I empathize with people who are in the last 7-8 months and they're down. Like that sucks. I've invested in some companies in legacy where you do all of the right math, you check out their cash flows, you check out their earnings, you check out their projections, and the price just doesn't move. And it's tough. And then right when you think that, they're getting ready to launch product and you got the PR, like, oh, buy the rumor, sell the news. And then you turn on the news and they're like, oh, by the way, there's a crisis in this supply chain issue. And then your shit goes down 20% anyway. And it's like, oh, cool. So it's just tough, man. People that are able to stick it out longer and not shoot their shot all at once, like dollar cost average in, dollar cost average out, they're going to be fine. And I'm loving this dip, dude. That's all I'll say about that, but I'm loving it.
There's a lot of people that have been the first year and a half or whatever, and they're like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, but this dip is amazing. Like I can't believe that we get an extra chance. It's mostly the guys that have been in for 2.5 years that are like, or the guys that got in the top in the last 8 months. And it's like those I could see on both sides where it's like you see your profile go down 85%, you're probably pretty pissed. And
that's how you know you bought the right thing.
Yeah. Right. But it's like, dude, 85%. How many times are you going to get this dip again, ever? These prices, you don't know how long you're going to get these prices ever again. This could be the last time you get 7 cents, 6.5 cents. My projection is 66.5 cents. I'm hoping that we come up from there, but who knows? We don't know.
I'm a little below you on my.
Oh, you are a little. Okay, all right.
Yeah. But 6.5 looks really strong. Looks really strong, in the liquidity and everything. Like it looks really strong. So
yeah, I mean, on the chart, greedy, there's a lot of support at 6.5 cents. That's all I like. I haven't even looked at the freaking liquidity, but I probably should.
Yeah, there's a lot of buy support down there.
What's cool about the Hex type projects, like even with this gnarly dip, and if it does go that low in terms of price, it's like if you really were to list all the things that are upcoming or to look forward to, or the pros about what's going on right now, they heavily outweigh the con of a low price, even though it is so low. It's like it's just really interesting, whereas a lot of other participants and other coins don't have anything to look at except for a destroyed chart, and
a roadmap that's still being pushed down the road.
Yeah. Community. And I mean, I was asking Hex, I was like, is there any other like coin that has a community quite like Hex? And he's like, I don't know of any. And like,
I don't think that, I'm not in any other community, so I can't say that but it's like, I don't ever see, if we go under anybody that's talking about anything, I always like click somebody and it's a different altcoin. There's always the altcoin of the week that's like there's 20 people, but then there's always a hexagon in there already before I get there. I'm just like, what the heck? How did you get here before anybody else?
Meme and
then I retweet it, and then I retweet it, and then it's like, and then it's a page of hexagon.
Hell yeah,
you know,
dude,
so it's like.
We have, crazy. Even though we're like by numbers, like by number of wallets, we're certainly not huge, but like the camaraderie is way stronger in this community than any of the other ones I've been a part of. Luna, you know, they were able to keep it together for as long as they were all making tons of money. No different than Hex. Like when we're rocking up to 52 cents, everybody's a hexagon. But like there are conversations going on in the Hex community that are like devoid of worrying about price anymore. They're just really community building and talking about real friendly life stuff. So even the Bitcoin people can't compete.
You know, is actually building. This is the best time to build your community is when there's a bear market, because it does get that camaraderie. You know, we've already done how many 85% dips, and that's why I think we have this much camaraderie, because we also are staked. So a lot of us aren't leaving anyway. So it's like, dude, instead of like bitching about whatever the price is, like let's build and try to get more people involved, and just, you know, being angry at each other doesn't do anything to help solve any of it. It's let's build the community, let's get more people onboarded. You know, there's Richard out there who's you know, got his big peepee license.
For sure.
He's trying to build the community on his you know, doing his own thing. But and I think that's, you know, Outrage Marketing. Definitely. I mean, Jake Paul is the perfect example of, you know, why do guys like us know who Jake Paul is? I never watched him. I've never watched an episode of him. I know who he is.
You know?
Exactly. I don't know who he is, but guess what? He did an Outrage Marketing so well that we know who Jake Paul and Logan Paul are.
For sure.
It's like, you know, and now it's like if you're on TikTok, it's like, you know, every 10 TikToks, it's a Jake Paul episode where he's talking to some, you know, financial guru, or he's talking about his Pokemon cards.
Dude, he had the Wolf of Wall Street on there and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, dude, I'm not subscribed to any of his stuff, but I still get him. And it's like, this is how Outrage Marketing actually works. And how it actually in the end, people are starting to like Logan. Well, who does?
Richard, remember you and I were talking, and you were reading Richard's tweet talking about Outrage Marketing, and then literally the next you know, 30 to 60 seconds, it's just like flooded with comments of outrage. You know what I mean? It was like complete outrage. I'm like, well, he called it, and you all, you know, it's a Jedi mind trick.
Like it is a Jedi mind trick. Yes, that's a good way of looking at it.
I fall for the Jedi mind trick sometimes, but like Richard's doing it consistently, so that's like admirable. But some people catch me when they like randomly start to troll, and then I like fall for a hook, line, and sinker, and I'm like, I'm an idiot.
I know.
Thank God, got my ass.
Yeah.
I'm like so ready to. You're wrong because, and they're like, yeah, I'm also trolling you. It's like, right. Me too, though.
sorry about what I said about your mom.
Sorry that I told you to die.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. But he's building the community, guys. If you look at his numbers, if you look at all of his platforms, they are growing. All of our platforms, and in a bear market, dude, we never saw any. You know, Orca, are you getting a whole bunch of followers still on Twitter and stuff?
Not as much. Well, I just got suspended for 7 days, so like my content was. Yeah, dude, I was so we had along with this like dumpage that's going on, a bunch of new profiles that are super pro Rackham showed up and like were posting fun about me, saying that I'm a paid shill for Hex.
Oh, like, right. Yeah, we're
you know, from our marketing department. And and it's like, so I retaliated and I went for the head, and then they all just like mass reported me and buried me for 7 days. It's like, okay, well played.
Well, okay, so I'm getting
but in the last 2 days, shitload.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like we're still in a bear market. You would think that people are just exiting and just being like, hey, I'm out. But I'm getting massive, you know, I'm probably getting probably 100 followers on Twitter a day, and Richard's probably getting 1,000 or whatever. I don't know how much he's getting, but it's like, you know, we're still getting a lot of followers,
Dude, people are looking for the right answer, because so many people now realize that they were buying into the wrong answers. So it's like we're the shining light on the hill, right? Like people are gonna find us.
And you got people like, I just saw a Max Kaiser thing where he was hating on Hex, him and 2 other dudes, and it's like, dude, like, he was saying, Max Kaiser was saying, Richard put it was a scam straight on the website. I don't even know who that back is. In the day. He's the cringiest Bitcoin maxi in the world. He's the one that was saying F Elon
the cringiest in the world.
Yes. Peter McCormick would be number 2, but Max Kaiser was like, he got on stage. Remember when he was like, F Elon? Remember that?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that was him. Dude, that was him. He cringes me out, dude. He's bad.
He's garbage.
So, yeah. Well, it's funny because he's one of these guys that promoted altcoins and Dash and all these other things, and then like comes back to promote Bitcoin in the end. And it's like, that's what all of these guys end up doing. All these altcoin shillsmen in the bull market, they shill whatever they want, and then when they come back, when at the start of the next bull run, they go, I'm just a Bitcoin maximalist now. And it's like, oh, okay, because you sold all of your altcoins on top of everybody else for Bitcoin, and now you just got a huge bag of Bitcoin and you just want to shill this thing.
Yo, Loki said Eric Wall's calling me out on Twitter. Dude, I replied to him. I'm down to debate him anytime. Like, I've got all the time in the world to talk to Eric Wall. So.
I would love to watch you or listen to you debate.
I don't know why he'd waste the time, dude. I'm at like 10K followers. He's got like 95K. And I know that he's invested in the thing that I'm going to be defending. It's like, dude, I need to sleep. Let's talk about DK roll-ups, bro.
Thank you for the $5. Found Hex at 20 cents. Pull back DCA to 7 cents. This
partial bet says you will lose, bro. Come on, I'll bury it. I'm not afraid of Eric Wall and his misfit pants.
Dude,
I couldn't stop looking at his legs.
Yeah, man. At least Richard's got calves.
Yes. Well, I say, if you're wearing dress, if you're wearing the long tube socks,
he was wearing capris.
You gotta pull them things up.
I'm not trying to hate on the man, but they were capris. Like, I'm sorry, my mom in the 90s used to wear the same sort of pants. Like, and she, even she's like, these are out of style.
Right. So. I remember when I put my dryer on hot for too long, and then it's like, well, this is the style in Italy. The only
things I have.
He's like, oh shit, I gotta go.
This is what I'm gonna have to go to the debate with.
Getting into European fashion.
If I get there late.
Ivan on Tech. You remember when Ivan on Tech talked to Richard and he had the same pants on? There was the freaking baby pants.
It's amazing.
Maybe it's a European thing. Maybe that's just anybody that's out there. Sorry about that.
It is.
Yeah. I did like
you guys are 20 years behind. Capris were the cool thing for moms in the 90s. But you guys are, your men are taking it over in Europe now.
The problem is if I try wearing those, I'll blow them right out. You know what I mean? I don't think
my legs ain't fitting.
I got them. I got them juicy thighs, man. I got thick hips. I got that thick booty.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Can't be wearing those skinny jeans, man.
Yeah.
Turning the Incredible Hulk through those things. But I like the way that Eric finished the debate. Like, he was really cordial and like showed his true self, right? So like, I don't have any hate towards the dude. Like, we can rile it up on Twitter, but like, he's fine.
I think a lot of it had to do with he was playing it to the movie. Like, he wants to be the, and I think that some of his things are legit. Like, he like has. But let's be honest. We all know that Eric probably owns Hex.
For sure, bro. Because like, if you remember the first time that they debated or whatever, like he got excited about the DeFi component of Hex. Right. The dude who's like pitching counterparty risk ZK rollups and stuff is like, well, that's kind of cool. Wait, okay, so the trustless yield does make sense. Like, yeah, bro, he owns that shit. Of course he owns it.
Oh yeah, and Pulse Chain, he's definitely gonna get some Pulse Chain if he doesn't already. And it's like, dude. What, like, it's kind of like what Richard says. Why are you in crypto? You're not in it for all this technology, you idiot. You're in it for the money. Like, if everybody could just like say, okay, guys, we're in it for the money. We can do something cooler than just talk about. Yeah, we can move on. But nobody wants to admit it except for the Hex community, where we're like, hey, unless there's a dip, and then everybody's like, you were in it for the money. Are you kidding me? You said you staked for 15 years on average
for your children that you're raising. Oh, get outside.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, guys, and that goes for everybody. Like at some point, you're going to sell, and you're going to hate it when people start hating on you what you're doing with your money. So if there's a guy that wants to emergency head stake and he gets 20% of what he staked, hey, I thank you for your service. Thank you for doing that, because I just got more. And if you want to sell it down, hey, I'm not like if there's people that want to buy that are gonna, I like looking at the chart on Dex Screener that shows like 300 people bought today and 100 people sold, and it's like we're getting it distributed. Yeah, we're getting it distributed among more than just these people that have huge, and people complain, oh, the OGs have all of the hex and stuff like that. Well, guess what? We're distributing it right now, guys, and it's getting distributed into more hands. And guess what? The next time it does this, maybe it doesn't dump as hard because it's in
You have that structure, and dude, Hex has the built-in scarcity model that I really like. I call it an equitable scarcity model because unlike Bitcoin, where you have that fixed supply, and sure, it's like reduced inflation, so it takes a long time to get there, but there will come a day, not in my lifetime, where Bitcoin's totally mined out, and then that is a way more dangerous proposition for the next person that wants to participate in the blockchain world if it's Bitcoin, like if Bitcoin's the only chain. Whereas Hex, it has responsible inflation forever. Like we know that capitalistic societies require inflation greater than zero to continue incentivizing people to move out of their conservative savings stance and then to deploy their capital. Like Richard says, like deploy your capital to create human longevity. If everybody was being paid 500% yield on their savings account, they'd never invest in the companies that are trying to save their life. So there's a balance there. And we just haven't reached that critical mass where you realize how scarce Hex is, because the amount of people and the amount of money coming in far exceeds the maximum inflation that it can produce.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
Like we said, I'm getting followers every day, tons of followers, and it takes literally all it takes is one person to get another person that's a millionaire, and you might not be the millionaire, but get this other guy that has hundreds of millions of dollars, and then he has a circle of friends that all have that, and it's like that's all
exactly.
It's just especially at the price we're at right now. I mean, it's nothing, guys. It's nothing. It's
literally nothing, dude.
It takes to pump it. So
think of like how many wallets touched Safe Moon. It's like, if
you
do that with something that's immutable, you're gonna see dumb candles, dude. Just stupid.
And so we just need to overcome the FUD. The FUD is always going to be there, guys. Everybody's always going to be upset that Richard owns, or the OA owns, a good portion of it, and guess what? It's pumped like it has for the last 2.5 years with the OA having it, and he hasn't sold any. So what?
I wouldn't trust anybody else to own the OA coins besides Richard, basically.
Besides the priest in Africa who actually owns it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, man. It's definitely like it's nice that it's being diluted, by time and by the supply, and at the same time it can protect. If it decided to, it could deploy capital in ways that would change outcomes for the better. But I don't know a lot of people who shoot their own investment in the foot. Like
that's
especially
if you don't need the money.
Yeah, I've got friends that actually are like, hey man, it's isn't it worrisome that the OA owns, Richard owns 85% of your thing? And it's like, no, dude, why would you kill your own project? Like you're gonna run away with a liquidity that has like $5 million in it when you have $1 billion, like billions of dollar product here. Like why would
just getting started? Yeah, just getting started. Like why would I exit scam for a couple million, dude?
Right. And it's like you could and look at his watch collection is worth more than the liquidity in it. His watches and that's it. And some people are like, well, where's he getting the money? He's selling on the Hex. It's like, no, dude, he has pulse chain sacrifices. He has which I don't know if he sold any of that, but he's also got the Ethereum that the adoption amplifier had accrued. It's like, dude, millions.
Yeah.
Here we go. Alan, I took a page from Orca's page book. I took Pleb's Hex from their hands, stole it. Do not talk about Safe Moon, LOL, PTSD, not African is from Panama. Well, thank you.
Panamanian priest, okay.
Yeah, the Panamanian.
Now he's living in another place.
Love it.
Oh yeah, because he's gotten a little bit more money, so he's moved up to Panama. Thank you for that, Alan. But yeah, I mean, if people are worried, honestly, just really think about if it was you and you could make a lot more money off of your product. Why would you sell it for a couple $1 million in the liquidity pool when you could make millions of dollars for a lifetime? More than you could ever spend, kind of money.
For sure.
By just promoting it and taking doing exactly what he's doing, promoting his own product. Like he's with an 85% dip, he's killing it. Like you
could still argue that he's a lot more motivated than your average founder in general. Like I think he really wants to be, you know what I mean, the king of crypto, and I think he wants it more than at least a lot of the founders that I've been exposed to seem to want it. He's taking it very seriously.
I agree. So. And I love the structure that he's doing, like identifying, because like Vitalik is a godsend for crypto, right? Like he really did give us the Ethereum virtual machine. His developers gave us DeFi, things that the Bitcoin team wasn't and still can't really produce. But then there's politics within their own system where it's just really hard to advance and move forward. And Richard is, at the expense of, for investors, you have to shoulder the risk, right, of getting behind a particular horse, but they're able to operate lean and they can make decisions with much more authority, that it's just like, look, here's the vision, so here's the path, as opposed to, oh, we have to please all these particular parties and stuff. Yeah. I mean, we saw the FUD even with just his behavior, right? He basically says, guess what, bro? Like, I'm in charge, right?
Right.
So I say it in the Twitter spaces sometimes. It's like, listen, bro, I'm Kim Jong-il in these spaces, and I will ban you. You have freedom of speech in your house, but not in my spaces. Like, I'll do whatever I want.
Yep. Yeah. So, and that's the funniest thing when people are like, oh, I thought if you block somebody on Twitter and they're like, oh, I thought you believed in free speech. It's like, yeah, but that means I don't have to listen to you.
Right.
Like, this is my house. Like, this is my house. I don't want to listen to you anymore. Like, I mean, it's not the same thing. You don't realize that free speech means you can say whatever you want, but
not obligated
you also
to
have
listen.
to deal with, it means I don't have to listen to you. You can say whatever you want. I'm fine with that.
Crazy.
I don't have to. It's great. Let's see. The OA is making more on fees than providing liquidity than dumping and leaving with a few mil. Yeah, I'm not sure. Does he actually? The OA actually provide liquidity? I'm not sure. I know he probably does a little bit.
I think Silver's audit shows a couple of wallets that do.
Okay.
I'd have to double check that though. It's been probably like 3 months since I reviewed that audit.
Yeah.
I check in with it every now and then, just that in case someone calls me out, I'm ready. And look, I'm not ready.
Yeah. How many times does he have to say it's for the glory? Exactly. But, I like to give people actually, actual facts of like why he wouldn't sell it instead of be like, he's in it for the glory, bro. And be like, okay. Let me hear what the glory. It's like,
you'd have to watch him for hours to really believe something like that.
For sure.
And I totally agree. It is for the glory, but for somebody that's new in, it's like, he's in it for the glory. And like, dude, that sounds like you are getting
just follow the trail of dead bodies.
Yeah. Just look at the glory that's about to happen.
Oh my god.
Okay, you guys, you are in a cult, aren't you?
Everywhere.
Yeah, dude.
So I do like to come up with facts. And plus, somebody was saying the 50. Here we go. If I would have mined 50 Bitcoin blocks, I wouldn't need to sell Hex. And I don't even try to use that because nobody even knows if I'm not saying
hard to verify how long he held it or whatever.
Exactly. But I do like to say, look at how much Ethereum he made in the adoption amplifier.
Dude, I think that's like the most bullish argument. It's like he has a ton of Ethereum and Ethereum did really well. So
it's like he got that pretty much for free. Like you didn't have
but
to
it's
do
like the
anything
perfect exchange, dude. Like think about any other crypto that you get into. Like you had to buy it, right? Like you didn't just get airdropped infinity Ethereum or Uniswap. Like sure, there's some small free airdrops, but you paid for it. Like that's an awesome exchange. What would be way scarier is if he had a ton of the supply and didn't get compensated in any way, or whoever's in the flush address didn't get compensated in any way. Then it's like, okay, they have an incentive to sell this on my head.
Right. Yeah. Because they need money now. They want the money.
Right.
They need the Hex price is going to, and it's funny when people like, the communists come out there. What do you mean he owns 85%? Right. It's like, it's okay, guys. Like he built it.
You're selling for profit?
Or those
disgusting.
guys.
Our profit? It's like, I guess.
I think the
guess you
AA
could say
ETH
that.
address sold all the ETH near the top. Yeah, I don't know about that. It sounded kind of like he said that on the on the thing with what's his
With
name?
Eric.
Stupid. With Eric, yeah. Well, Eric Wall. I try not to say his name. No, I'm just kidding.
You're
I
trying to
don't
think
mind
of
Eric.
another name.
No, have you seen his hot picture though? The girl hot Eric Wall.
Yeah, with the meat.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, dude.
Let's like, I don't know, man. It's so crazy having Richard is so nice to Eric. If you consider like Eric his Bitcoin was goxed, and then he came back and he leverage traded it, and the gox dumped on him and liquidated.
Oh, really?
Dude, yeah, bro. He got
goxed.
Dude, his story is the best. Got goxed, then tried to build his way back up in crypto, so that he starts leverage trading Bitcoin. He spent like 3 years becoming like the best, Bitcoin trader he could. Then he super longed it in leverage, and then the Gox coins came out and sold on his head, and he got liquidated by his own coins being sold back to him. It's like the worst story you could have.
God.
So like, he's definitely not in a position to be giving anyone advice on like what's DeFi and what's counterparty risk. Like, dude, the guy is the professional get wrecked squad of counterparty risk.
Dang. That is sad. I didn't know all that. I did not know all that.
Yeah, man.
I didn't.
Wreck situation.
Leave him alone.
He was open about it a while ago, and now he's a lot more quiet about it because he's got other revenue streams with his fund and stuff. You know how crypto, those centralized funds are, Eric. It's like, I'm all for the legacy stuff though, because I have a ton of family that like, they don't want to understand custody. They don't want to understand a lot of that stuff, and they're at a point in life where like they shouldn't have to. Like the user friendliness just isn't there yet.
I mean, writing down your seed phrase is crazy. Like you write that down, and you have to be like, if you lose this, like that's how it's gone. Your money's gone, and they're like,
you ever onboard like they get it.
You ever onboard people, and you're like, okay, you have to write down your seed phrase, and then they bring out like a spiral notebook, and it's like, and they're like, okay, and they have like a pencil, and it's like. Let me rephrase this. Like, you need this to like remain in existence for more than like one rainy day. Like, you can't just leave your backpack somewhere and lose all your wealth.
Right.
Like,
you can't lose this. You can't let anybody have
I
it.
remember onboarding people, and now they're worth, probably in the millions. Well, maybe not anymore, but probably in the millions.
Wrecked.
But wrecked. But I mean, they did that. They're like, putting it in a Google Drive or freaking whatever. It's just like, do not do this. Do not do this. Like, you have to, because we've seen it. Now we've seen people get hacked for their Google Drive, their OneDrive, whatever you want to do. And some people just don't care. They're just like, no, it's all right. I'll just, or they lose a piece of paper. It's like, how many people in Bitcoin have just lost Bitcoin because they forget a piece of paper or they throw it away in a hard drive or whatever.
Yeah, the stories of like going to the landfill to find a hard drive. It's like, wow, never.
This thing has 100,000 Bitcoin and it's just like,
gone forever.
I couldn't even imagine. It sounds so miserable and bleak.
And so like that is one thing that you want to, tell your onboards, but it is like, that's why I like the legacy as well, is like, if there's there's a Hex investment trust that's coming out, and it's like, dude, they can invest in that instead, and it still pumps the price. And guess what? It helps us all because they're not going to get in. They're not in. A lot of these old dudes.
Exactly.
They're not going to like you tell them like, oh, you got to write this down and blah blah blah. They're
not going to pivot into that lifestyle.
No.
We need technology will catch up and make it easier at some point, but like we're not there yet. That's what I mean by like we're so new and fragile. Because if we had to. Like, we can onboard millennials all day, no problem. But if we had to get like the institutional money in right now, it's just a lot of barriers that I wouldn't blame them for being like, I'm making money doing anything else. So no.
Right. Multi-sig wallets, you'd have to teach them all of that. You'd have to freaking, and it's like, then you have to trust most of the people that have it's too.
Dude, these are people that are like on Wall Street using their cell phones to give insider trading info. Like, you really think that they're top OPSEC brains out there? Like, some of them are a little sloppy already. Imagine if you had someone going like the MetaMask Twitter bots that are like, oh yeah, so and so helped me with the. It's like, oh my god, you're getting wrecked.
And then you're gonna, you got to be scared that those guys are gonna dump on you, because once they get scammed, guess what? They're selling it. So it's like, this is good that we're having the a legacy market where you can buy it off of the stock market. Not only that, but there's tons of money. That's where the real money is in the stock market, when people have trillions of dollars in this thing. So
for real, yeah.
Let's see, Tripapyrus. Yeah, instead of writing it in a notebook, why not papyrus?
My papyrus ledger. Yeah, dude. No thanks.
Thank you, Alex. Wow, that's very kind of you. That is very kind of you.
Dude, that's facts though. That's how I feel whenever Hexo does a stream. It's like, oh man, I'm in a better mood today, dude. Just get
Hexo's always been like that. Anybody that's gotten to know Hexo ends up, falling in love with him. Look at him.
Yeah, I was in the Marines. Everybody would always like,
he would get away with so much nonsense that like,
because I would laugh about it, dude. Like I would.
Well, and he'd make the higher ups laugh too. You know what I mean? So
nice.
It's like they can't stay mad at him. They'd be having him drive them to the airport and stuff, or like,
nice. Secret Service Hexo.
Yeah.
Security detail.
Yes.
Let's see. Thank you guys. You guys are very.
So I guess the real projection ought to be though, what's going to release first, Pulse Chain or Blippi Coin? Because I sacked a long time ago. I sacked like 7 different ETH addresses. That seemed weird, but I just didn't want to miss out. So hold
on.
He gave me a whole class about Blippi like a couple weeks ago. I've seen him around, but I never watched any of his shows. And then Hexo started doing impressions of him, and then it was by the time I actually watched it, I was like, "Oh, yep." Like,
hey, thank you, Cash Plus. Orc equals Smartman. He's brilliant.
For real.
Brilliant. That's why we have him on here. We only get the smartest. We only get the smartest here on the.
I enjoy listening to Orca on Corey Costa's.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Channel.
Corey's very intelligent.
You guys are the same way, where you have a very intelligent back and forth. You know what I mean? You both kind of seem to feed off each other, and it's
he brings out the less savage side of me, which is good, because otherwise I can
maybe that's what it is.
Anyone on the internet,
because I could tell that there's maybe like you have a very like, it's almost when you start talking about this, especially depending on the climate, it's very focused. And you're almost like a robot, not like a bad way, not a bad way, like a Terminator almost. You know what I mean?
I got you.
And he's like, okay, annihilate that target, and you're like, yep. It's like a good duo. You know what I mean? Very enjoyable while getting a lot of information across too. So.
Thanks, man. That's like
just watch out for John Connor.
Right. Don't even say that name.
Don't even
on the internet. Hexo.
Oh my God, we're gonna get rugged now. God. But yeah, like, dude, I love palling around like forever. I love being a DJ and stuff. But I was also, my dad raised me like I had to be super on point in school my whole life, and so when it comes time to get down to business and stuff, and it's time to learn, like I'll go hard in the paint for that. Yeah, but I love it. I love learning
that. Hexo and I appreciate stuff like that, where people could really just kind of, what I mean?
Because I'm not that way. I'm the opposite. I'm very not books, like not books. I'm not
enemy fire incoming. He's got a handful of gummy bears. Like.
No, a handful of crayons.
You forgot he had the mini hands on all day. I've been wearing these for 5 hours straight.
I can't get them off. I've got to pull the trigger with these damn things. I'm trying to rack it with these little tiny hands. I can't get it.
Come with me if you want to live. Oh my God!
So you did the longest Twitter Spaces. Did you ever get the world records? Did you ever get a hold of them?
Not yet, but it's like it's documented because Twitter recorded it and like gave us the timestamp. And honestly, like people have tried to break it since then, and I think that Twitter has like a hard cap on how far you can go now, because people are getting like 1 day in, 2 days in, and then they get rugged, and it's like nobody can get through this mysterious wall. I think we filled up like their server. It's like, yeah, dude. I tried to tweet at Guinness Book of World Records, and apparently they're too busy to do their job.
It's too good for you. too good.
I don't really know like what the process is to get those people to get their attention. I think you got.
I remember I came in there one time and you were just waking up or something.
Yeah.
I didn't like. Did you not sleep through the entire thing?
Dude, for like
not
the
the entire thing, but it's like
for
a
like
couple
the first
days,
2
right?
days I didn't sleep, and then probably like halfway through the third, I just remember like I sat down in my bed. I remember sitting down in my bed, and then I was waking up like not sitting down anymore. I was like slumped over on a pillow, and I was like, where am I? And like people were in my ear still talking. I was like, oh God, we're still here. Okay, we're live.
Wait, so how long was it? It was 5 days, 7 days?
Oh, how long was it? I think it was just shy of 4 days. I think it was like 3.99 days,
okay.
like something really close to that.
Still
or something.
pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you know, not doing it every single day for like a year, but yeah, it was a lot. Yeah. But dude, that's, you know how it is, like the mental fog that you hit at some point is just like,
well, day for me when I did the 24-hour streams. I mean, you hit those the day mark, and you're like, okay,
well, it's funny,
like you just start letting other people do it. You're like, no, go ahead, you got this one, right?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Hexo would even remember stuff that he just said. Sometimes I'll be like, oh my God. Dude. You got me going when I was like holding something heavy or something. He'd be like, I don't even remember saying that. Like,
dude,
I think after doing so many in a row, it's like,
dude, I would catch myself like in the bathroom, like staring at my face in the mirror and like not even identifying myself as like, we've come so far.
You're like, who are you?
Yeah,
who
dude.
are you?
Like rubbing, like holding in the beard, like, it is still me. Like,
hey, Alan, thank you. Trump is jealous of your tiny hands, Hexo, and Orca. They can't break your record because they are slaves to bi-weekly paychecks. Ooh, very true.
Yeah,
very
man,
true.
I'm out of the hustle. I'm out of the grind.
Yeah.
But if I wanted to, if I had to get a job, I would go and be a professor. I get the summers off, so like it's kind of not even a real job.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. Yeah. And if like, dude, for teachers, no hate on teachers out there if you're a teacher, but damn, what a nice job. You get like 3 days off at least a month, and it's like, and you get the weekends off, you get all the holidays and the summer. It's like, dang, how much?
My dad and his dad are both professors. My dad's retired now. My grandpa is 83 years old and still teaches full time. And he also owns a ranch, and he is like just a classic do-it-all man, like such a hardworking guy. And like some of like growing up, I realized it was like, man, you guys always have time to like make it to the baseball game or like whatever it is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then it's like, yeah, the schedule has to kind of fit with like your kid's schedule because you're teaching kids. So
yeah, you're already teaching.
Yeah, so it's kind of a cool. That's when I realized I was like, I think that might be worth looking at. So I think that'll probably be the direction I go.
That's awesome.
I agree. That'd be cool.
Live day 3. My body's changing. My appearance has grown weary. Can hardly recognize myself. They keep coming. DJs everywhere.
Literally, man. Dude, there were so many awesome people though that were like really supportive, and like you could take a back seat, right? Like I didn't have to be on the spot all the time. Like people would have these conversations that would roll for hours and hours and hours, and it was just cool to see how, especially like shout out to the Hex community, how welcoming everyone was, because we onboarded hundreds of people live, like that were coming up and they're like, hey, I've kind of heard about this, or I've never heard of crypto, but I'm interested. And like the community would just step up and they would talk about security, they would talk about risks, they would talk about like responsible investing behaviors and stuff. And it was just like, whoa, dude, we're really doing something cool here. It's so grassroots and totally unplanned. So it was really, that's the community awesome. That like no one has anything on that.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Teachers get those days off because otherwise we'd go probably, dude. Probably. I can't. Are you in Richard's? Are you in Richard's chair? Looks like Richard's chair behind you, Tony. How'd you get there? Orca's beard looks like it receives Starlink frequency.
I need Starlink, dude. I get the worst internet on my ranch, so like I have to. That's why I come up into town. And I go to the library.
Dude, that's awesome. You get a ranch. I want a ranch. That's what I want.
Yeah, me and Hex want to be spread out one of these days.
I want to be like, and not like on a bed, like in the freaking woods or something. Not like in that way too.
Not like in a
what way did you?
Not like that before instead of picnic.
Oh my god! Not like why was that the first?
Not anything.
We want to be spread out from people, not anywhere.
Not what you were probably how I came off.
Oh my god. Yeah, dude. Nobody needs to be getting spread out in the woods, okay? Stay safe out there, Hex again.
Hey, anybody want to go to the woods next week?
The Hexagon.
Speaking of
The
woods,
Hexagon scavenger hunt.
yeah, we're gonna have a little Hexagon scavenger hunt. Don't get caught alone.
Yikes, dude.
Well, that's an hour. Thank you, Hex Orca, dude. It was a great stream.
Dude, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, man.
I love watching you too. Like the chemistry that you guys have is awesome. I love when you guys share some of your military life. I have a lot of friends and family that have been in the military, so like respect to you guys. I couldn't do it. I would, unlike Hexo, I'm not going to make anyone laugh but myself. So I really appreciate that you guys are so down to earth. And like, I have a blast watching you guys stream. So thanks for having me on today.
Yeah. Thanks, Orca, for coming. And thank you everybody for showing up too. And Orca, what's your Twitter? It's like,
now it's Crypto Curricula. So I'm actually coming out with a website. It's going to be like free content, but I've had a lot of people asking for just like some financial literacy tips and stuff and how to understand money a little better. So it'll be sort of like just a Wikipedia of sorts for information, so that if you don't have any education that comes from that walk of life, it'll hopefully be like really easy to digest, and it should bring you up to speed a little bit so that you have a clearer view of what you're getting into when you look at things like Hex and crypto and stuff like that.
Dude, that's awesome.
Cool, man.
That's awesome. So Crypto Curricula on Twitter. Do you have a YouTube or anything?
I have a YouTube by the same name, but I don't really like do any stuff on my YouTube.
You're doing weekly with Cora Costa, correct?
Yeah, we're going Mondays,
okay.
I think.
Dude, he's awesome. He's awesome. I did a stream with him a while ago, and he's like,
yeah, dude.
You guys, that's what I'm saying.
He's great at asking questions, because it's like he's a great interviewer. I love talking to him. So.
Awesome
and Hexplosive Artist on Twitter, Hexplosive Art. Go check him out. Go check out Hex Orca over there too. And thanks everybody for showing up. Take care, everybody.
You bet, man.